Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tom Munoz, Houston Fire Chief for the Houston Fire Department. Since last October, we've had approximately 15 grass fires throughout the area, and we started looking at these fires. Last week, there was 5 set in this area, in the Houston, in the Memorial Park area. We were fortunate there was no serious structure damage in the area. However, there was some vegetation that was burnt. On Wednesday last week, HFD started coordinating with the Memorial Park Conservancy and Houston Arboretum. And with that said, after multiple fires was set that day. At that point, we coordinated with the Arson Bureau, HFD Arson Bureau, started working on seeing what was happening, looking at patterns, and within a matter of one day, approximately less than one day, they arrested a suspect that had been that they had been following. And thanks to that, he did confess to setting some multiple fires in the area. He is currently in the Harris County Jail charged with 2 counts of arson felony, and he is being held on a $50,000 bond. What is important to know is that since Wednesday, when the arrest was made, there have been no park fires or memorial area fires. That definitely shows that this might be the person that was causing the fires. That is real important to note that our Arson Bureau did an amazing job, as well as our Houston Fire Department firefighters who were responding to those fires to make sure that everyone's safe. And that is record time to make an arrest of such nature. They covered a big area, and fortunately, they were able to apprehend the person. But it's also important to know, as I mentioned, I want to commend the Bureau, Arson Bureau, HFD, but I also want to thank Mayor Whitmire for all the support that he's given us and resources to make sure that the city and our Houston firefighters are safe. At this point, I'm going to pass it to our Chief Investigator, Chief Garriga.
Hello, everyone. Last Monday, we were aware, or we were made aware by the Wildland group that there was about approximately 5 fires. We were not called on those, so that's the first time that we became aware of those fires. But we were aware of fires going back to October of last year. Those fires, there were a handful here and there. They were small, very little evidence, really no leads to follow up on, so no investigative leads were followed. It wasn't until Monday and those 5 fires that came in. On Tuesday, we had another fire come in, and that's when we realized, okay, we need to apply some more resources to this situation. And Wednesday, we had approximately 15 arson investigators throughout the park looking for any type of. We had video of a gentleman from a fire on the 18th on Knox Street, and that's all we had. So we were going on that information, trying to identify people. That day, 2 fires were set. On the second fire, a gentleman fitting that description from that video was found, and he was our guy, and he, at that time, was taken into arson custody, where he confessed to setting a handful of fires. Right now, it's still an open investigation. We don't know exactly how many fires he set, but we were able, on the information that we got, able to get 2 charges on 2 of the fires. Any questions?
What did he say to you?
He identified himself from the image that he was shown. Do you know who this individual is? And he's like, yep, that's me. And at that point, he was taken into custody, and whereas we took him into HFD headquarters, where he confessed of other fires in the park area.
Did he give you a reason about why he was setting fires?
He has. Right now, it's still an ongoing investigation, so I can't give too much of that information out because we're trying to link up other fires, and so we want to keep that information not in the public's eye yet. But when we get there, obviously, we'll release that information.
So how many fires do you think approximately he might be responsible for?
So we're looking right now around 16 fires. We're not sure.
In the last
going back all the way to October of 2024. Oh, sorry.
Can you describe to us like the standard MO of these fires? Like, did he like get some dry grasses together and like, you know? Like,
Yeah,
what
there were materials at hand, usually, you know, dry leaves, just small fires. He wasn't applying any gas, you know, so it wasn't, they're very hard to investigate when very little evidence is being used or materials are being used.
So is it just like a lighter and just started lighting up some dry leaves?
Yes.
And can you kind of talk to us a little bit about people at home could be watching that? Oh, these are small fires that didn't do any structural damage. What's the significance of it?
Well, and that was the concern. Once we had, we learned of the information on Monday of the 5 fires. We, you know, as arson investigators, we know that these arsonists usually start small, and they, you know, they actually get braver as they get away with it. And so, as these fires came in, okay, we needed to apply more resources because we saw an issue that it might turn into a bigger fire, you know.
Like this is where the start was.
Yes,
The fear of the start. was.
absolutely. It might escalate.
And we can also have our wildland division can address some of those concerns as well in
But
terms
before,
of how
can
these
you
fires
give us
spread.
any information on the individual? Is he homeless? Is he looking for what?
Yes.
Any insight?
Yes, he is a homeless gentleman that lives in this area, travels the area.
But it seems like court records show that he has mental health issues and competency issues in his past history. How do you think that will affect how you go about this investigation? Are you guys aware of those issues?
We don't get involved in the mental health aspect of it. I mean, we just look at the evidence that is presented to us, and so at this point, I don't have a comment about that.
Let's go ahead and Councilmember Kamen, if you want to go ahead and offer some remarks, and then we'll get on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Look, Memorial Park is the emerald of our city. I'm here on behalf of not only the surrounding neighborhoods, right, when there's a risk of fire, and I'll talk about that and the great work that the Wildland Division actually does generally in the Conservancy and the Arboretum, but on behalf of residents, I'm here to say thank you to HFD's arson team, to the department, to our mayor for the resources in addressing this concern. As we all know, Memorial Park is surrounded by neighborhoods, so any risk of fire must be taken very seriously. Every year, our Wildland Division does incredible work doing controlled burns, right, to mitigate the risk of wildfire in the area. So to have somebody intentionally setting some of these fires is extremely concerning, and to have that suspect apprehended, again, with charges pending, brings a great sigh of relief to residents, but also in protecting this incredible nature preserve and space. So again, I appreciate the work of our fire department, chief. Thank you to everyone, and I know our union is very supportive of our men and women in the department, but also the Conservancy and the Arboretum, who are incredible partners with our city and with law enforcement. We have worked closely together because security and safety at Memorial Park is paramount. We have funded as a district additional resources, including additional security cameras with HPD for additional patrols, right? Polaris vehicles that can get in and out. We've done trainings with HFD and other partners on EMS, how to quickly get in and out. And this is one of those things that may not be within our control, but certainly they acted extremely quickly and effectively and efficiently to address the concern. And again, I'm just very grateful for everyone's teamwork on this.
So, Engineer Operator Huddleston, you want to come up and talk a little bit about Wildland's interest out here at Memorial Park and what y'all do?
Sure. Good afternoon. My name is Justin Huddleston. I'm engineer operator by rank, and I'm the Wildland Fire Coordinator for the Houston Fire Department. Just a general announcement. You know, we had a lot of 911 calls whenever the arson fires sort of started, and that's a big component whenever it comes to, you know, making sure that these fires stay small. There is a lot of risk whenever we get into a wildland urban area, which, you know, Memorial Park is considered that, as well as the Arboretum, in a wildland urban interface area, which is where undeveloped property is adjacent to neighborhoods and developed properties. And so really it's a public safety piece of, when you see something, say something, regardless of the size of a fire, making sure that the 911 call is made. The speed at which we get here is a big piece of why those fires stay so small. And then the notification to our arson folks whenever we suspect that it's not, by nature of a fire occurring, then we can get that process started, which ultimately is what made this process so quick over the course of just a matter of days, making sure that these fires stayed small in a time whenever we were kind of drying out before the rain started to come back. These fires could have had potential to get larger and impact the neighboring homes. And so we didn't get to that point yet, which is a good thing. And it's back to just if you see something, say something, and being situationally aware whenever you're in the parks.
So, in terms of the other SMEs that we have here today, we've got Marty Langton here with the union, Kenneth Allen, the Parks Director, Chris Ballard with Memorial Park Conservancy, and Debbie Markey, apologies, with the Houston Arboretum. So if y'all have any questions for any of them, let me know and we can get them to the right person.
Did Debbie talk about the Arboretum fire? Wasn't there a fire in the Arboretum?
We've had, we've had fires.
That's one of the incidents, right? That we
Yeah,
talked about
it was
They were
on
all
the front.
exterior to
Yeah.
the grounds. They were all outside the fence line.
Okay, but that's, can you talk about that?
Good. You want to talk about?
You want to talk, because it's in the charging document, so I was like, if their address is, since you're here, and if you guys are there.
Do you want me to? In the charging documents, it's referenced to the Arboretum, and I've mentioned, as have others, that the Arboretum is also involved in this investigation because some of the fires were set so closely to the Arboretum, putting the Arboretum at risk.
And I know you guys said charging for 2 addresses, and you're still looking at what other potential fires are. We've had some viewers say that they've seen some smoke prior to the arrest, like further east in the Buffalo Bayou. I don't know if the investigation is primarily focused on the Warren Park area, or if you're looking at other parks as well.
Obviously, we cover the city of Houston, so there's other investigations, but those investigations are not related to the one in the park.
Are there any unsolved fires in the park right now?
Unsolved fires.
Or are there additional, you said 16, are there other folks you're looking at connecting besides?
A lot of these fires were not even reported to the Arson Bureau because they were small grass fires, or sometimes the fire department didn't even respond because they were put out by employees of the park. So, yes, there's probably more fires that occurred, but do we know of them? And we probably won't find out because it's such a large area and it's so remote that it's difficult to identify every single fire that was started at the park.
And you all said that the person who's in custody now was caught on surveillance video from Knox Street.
Right.
And once he was shown that video, he self-identified, yep, that's me, and apparently confessed to others. How did you all connect the Knox Street fire to these set here in the area? By proximity?
Yes, by proximity, yes.
Can you spell your name, please?
Garriga. Jan, Jan.